Yeah, well, from President Biden's climate agenda to the January 6th hearings, there is a lot happening in the world of politics right now, and all of it as we inch closer to November's midterm election. So joining us now to help break down some of this week's political headlines, Julia Manchester, national politics reporter with The Hill. Julia, we appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Natasha.
Well, if we could set the stage for a moment for this first question, we are tracking President Biden's attempt to push through major climate change legislation this summer. It has been tough. That key vote is not going to happen. Joe Manchin of West Virginia saying nope, he's not going to back it. And this means months of negotiations in Washington have potentially come to nothing. So we want to get your insight here because now President Biden is saying he is going to move forward to combat climate change, quote, with or without Congress. So the question, Julia, is what realistically can the president do without Congress in this area?
Well, I think it's realistic to say that he could move by executive order. And look, the president is under a lot of pressure in this area. You know, he hasn't had that many major accomplishments recently. Of course, there was a bipartisan gun safety legislation that he signed into law last week. And in 2021, there was the American Rescue Plan and the bipartisan infrastructure bill. But in general, Biden has been hindered by Democrats and Republicans, obviously, but two Democrats, Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema from Arizona in particular. And Joe Manchin once again signaling that he would sink this legislation. So really, once again, being a thorn in Biden's side. And I would say that Biden right now is under a lot of pressure because he's coming up to that midterm election year. It's going to be a tough year for Democrats in the midterms. Republicans have the wind at their back. So Biden and Democrats down the ballot really need something that they can vouch for on the campaign trail. And right now, under the Biden administration, there really isn't much, especially when the headlines have been dominated by negative news like inflation.
Absolutely. And speaking of Senator Manchin, he is continuing to hold out on this. He does hold that swing vote in the 50-50 Senate. So can you shed any light on this? What is he angling for, and how much of his resistance do you think has to do with his ties to coal?
Look, it's very possible that a lot of his resistance has to do with ties to coal. I mean, if you just look at West Virginia, that is a state that relies heavily on coal. Coal is very much a part of its, economy and has been for quite some time. It's very much married to the coal industry. So it would be difficult, I think, for any lawmaker from West Virginia to sort of try to, support something that would be in favor of renewable energy, because that would be obviously potentially could have a negative impact on those working in the coal industry in that state. But I think it also speaks to a broader role that Joe Manchin has played during the Biden administration in the Senate, and that is being a check on the administration from the president's own party. This is coming as the administration is under pressure from progressives in particular to move more to the left on a lot of these issues like government spending and climate change. And Joe Manchin is saying, look, we can't do this right now. We can't have more government spending. Inflation is too much of a problem at this point. So I think Joe Manchin is very much, and Kristen Sinema too, to a certain degree, are positioning themselves as being checks on their own party as progressives continue to, expand their influence.
Right. And meanwhile, we're also watching out this week for two things. One, former President Trump ally Steve Bannon going on trial on contempt of Congress charges, and also maybe the last House committee hearing on January 6th. So what are you expecting from both of those?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of the Steve Bannon trial. That's obviously going to be heavily watched. He is someone who has a lot of influence in Trump world and in many far-right conservative circles. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in, all aspects of the media. But also with January 6th, we're watching for that because this hearing, according to the committee members, will go over the 187 minutes that took place during the end of Trump's rally at the White House ellipse and the attack on the Capitol. The committee say they will do the best that they can to paint a picture of what the president was or was not doing at that time. And we know that this will be a prime time hearing. So just like the first January 6th committee hearing. So they're aiming to get a lot of American eyeballs and eyeballs really around the world on this hearing. So we could potentially see a lot of bombshells.
Absolutely. All right, Julia Manchester, we appreciate you tracking all of that for us. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.